Action!
Movies have this reputation of being a visual medium, really, understandably. And often lots of attention is paid to the visuals, the cinematographer, the kind of design of the film, the look of the film, obviously the actors, the visual appearance, what they look like and everything. The truth is, for me, it's obvious that 80% of a movie is sound. You don't realise it because you can't see it. You don't pay it that attention. But believe me, if it's not good, you know that'll be a reason your movie isn't working.
Anyone can steal a painting.
Let's start the bidding at £5 million.
All it takes is a bit of muscle.
And so you think if it's that important, then you should exploit it further.
Stop right there.
On Trance, we've done a Dolby Atmos mix. It's a kind of 3D version of sound.
Put it down.
When I heard it tested, the Dolby Atmos, I was amazed. Obviously, the big, violent stuff was terrific, but it was the quiet stuff that was, like, really different. Because when you've got a big, explosive scene, you're basically seeing the same thing you always see, except a bit better, you know, because stuff can move in different ways. But with the quieter sequences, where you're creating space, it's incredible progression, I think, between what was available before and what's available now. And when I heard it tested, there was a rain test, a quiet rain test, that I thought was extraordinary. It was like one of those moments where you thought, you can literally make people feel wet when they're watching a movie.
Have you ever been hypnotized before?
Whatever is in his head, she can find.
Now, I want you to relax, Simon.
Stop.
What can you make him do?
Anything. This movie starts off as a sort of simple art heist film.
It's the story of a guy called Simon, who's an auctioneer at an auction house in London.
My character, he can't remember who he is properly because he's had a whole chunk of his life taken away. Not just a day when this heist happened and he gets a bang on the head. That's all gone. But there's something else missing and it doesn't make sense.
And then by the 25th page, the thing becomes something else.
Our film is a series of trances, and the trance is induced by the therapist, Rosario Dawson, and you begin to experience it in the way that James McAvoy experiences it.
So I'd like you to close your eyes and imagine you're in an elevator.
She has a beautiful voice, you know, and she has a lot of lines, you know, because she goes through those moments, and plus a lot of what has to do with hypnotherapy in the movie is actually explained by her character because she's a doctor, really, you know.
The thing about this Dolby Atmos stuff is that it's obviously very, very effective for action movies, and we've got some action sequences in it, and it's really like great to be able to surround people, not just around here, but literally above them as well. But actually, our use of it is also very subtle as well, because it literally puts you inside the mind of somebody who's being hypnotised. We spent a lot of time recording the voices as perfectly as possible, because we wanted them to exist, to live inside the head of the character, you know, especially James McAvoy's head. And Simon Hayes, who recorded it, did a fantastic job, and then Glenn Fremantle mixing it to put you literally inside, where you completely immerse people in the sound of the movie.
In the drawer. No, the lower one. Is there a gun?
Yes.
Do you think you can use it?
When you can create that immersive experience, it becomes almost impossible, hopefully, to tell whether this is real or not, or whether this is an illusion, which is kind of what movies are anyway. They're kind of an illusion, but if you do it well enough, people believe it. They believe it enough to cry, or to laugh, or to be shocked, as though it's something that's happening to them in their real life. And then they remember they get outside, it was like, he didn't really die, this didn't really happen to her, it's actually an illusion. But to be able to make that illusion as vivid and as visceral as possible is wonderful, and to use all the tools that are available to you to do that is great.
Elizabeth, I have something to tell you. You ready? And remember.
I'm not a big fan of 3D personally, visually, but I like the 3D element of sound, which is this new system, Dolby Atmos.